I ended up in tourism because it combined many of my interests, many of my passions. I've always worked with people of different cultures, and of course languages has been a part of that. I love languages, but of course languages access people of different backgrounds and help you understand, respect and appreciate people who have a very different point of view from your own. So working with different cultures, that was always something that lent itself to tourism. And I love walking, maps and the outdoors. But I also love bringing people together. And tourism seemed the perfect way of bringing people together to learn and respect each other. Languages being a tool, but not the only objective. I actually had a dream. I actually had an idea that I wanted to come to Spain. I left Scandinavia and came south to Spain to find a place to set up these intercultural linguistic projects. And I found this. And I suppose I never left. This is an area that's extraordinarily traditional. It's Basque, it's extraordinarily traditional. My neighbours on the neighbouring farms, they're mainly shepherds. And they make their own cheeses, they have their own vegetable gardens, they have their own bread ovens, they have their own meat sauce, they have their own wood. We have our own stream. I've got my own stream that actually feeds the house. We forage for wood for the fire. So that ticked many of the boxes of being a beautiful traditional place. And then from the place I got to know the people. And they're the most exceptional people, the Basque mountain shepherds, full of very deep-seated values, a love for their land, deep roots, which I suppose as a nomad, as a cosmopolitan nomad, it was something that I didn't have. And I fell in love with the place. And I think as a tourist operator, I have a responsibility to bring people to an area and teach them to respect, teach them about the culture and the traditions, and help them respect the ethos of people who are very, very different. So the main product that we run from this house here, which is just a very small, it was once a barn that's now got 5 guest rooms, so it's still a very small place, is I run walking holidays, but I've made, because I've always loved maps for some reason, all the walks are circular, they're documented and they're circular, and they start and they finish at the door of the house, which means that we have no need for a car all week. They follow the shepherding trails, the smugglers' tracks, the old flagstone paths that leads from the mill to the church, from market town to market town. And guests can come here and every morning take a different walk to a different village and come back walking. No need for a car. Of course, when I talk about the villages, this is a project that gives a lot of work to the local area. Not only do people go to the bars and to the restaurants, but we also go to the mills. My staff is local. I have a lovely couple on my mountain who have a wonderful organic vegetable allotment. So we just go down and get a box of seasonable vegetables from them. They're just next door. And through this and through the contact with the locals, for me, again, I go back to that point that it's very important to help people understand the traditions and the culture and respect it. And in respecting it, you can preserve it rather than wanting to change it. Yeah, hi, I'm here now with Leonardo de Pushkatings is his name. As far as climate change is concerned, it's very difficult to say, but over the last few years we have had some very, very go down, baby. Some very, very dry spells. I feel very lucky that we live in such a green area, but it's become very dry towards the end of the summer last year. This year is different. When you're working with maps and walking and understand the terrain, you have to obviously adapt your walks to the weather changes. We're very lucky that I can now then decide to do the walks on the north face of the mountain. We can keep under the trees, we can swim in the rivers and things like that. So even on a very hot day, I just make sure that I follow the topology of the area that where the sun doesn't come in. Another thing is I try and educate my guests about use of resources. We run on spring water. Obviously the springs are getting lower, so people are therefore taking shorter showers and very aware that they don't keep the tap going when they brush their teeth and things like that. Also how to use the coldness of the rock behind them. The house is built into the rock, And so if they open the doors to the back of the rock, then the coolness of the rock will come into their bedrooms, and obviously to block off all the windows. So with climate change, I mean, obviously water's the main one, but luckily with walks, if you understand topology, you can change and adapt to the different climate conditions. I think probably one of the launching pads for this whole project was the confidence I gained from writing a couple of books. My first book many years ago that I wrote in Copenhagen was How to Change Your Dreams into Goals and Achieve Them. And so, although I wrote the theory and had no idea of the practice, it did give me the confidence to think, well, if I've written the book, I ought to be able to have a go. So, you can hear the donkey in the background. Anyway, I don't know whether you can hear it, but there's a donkey in the background. He's kept me company for 25 years. Thank you, coming in the stage there. So, going back, and another book I wrote, which was about languages and helping people to learn languages, not to be frightened of learning languages, and especially as a Brit or English speaker, how many languages are similar to our own. So I wrote these two books, and they both gave me the confidence to come up here and start these projects. When I came here and fell in love with the culture, the area, and the people here who helped me immensely. I had a daughter. Actually, I was a single mum when I well, I've been a single mum for a lot of my life, so I brought up my daughter here, as well as the company, as well as this house, which was a mountain barn, first of all. And I feel very much indebted to the local community for how much they helped me, whether it was bringing around pureed vegetable soup for my daughter in the morning, and the shepherds would hang it on the gate because they know I can't cook, I'm a terrible cook. Or whether it was getting rid of the mice or spiders or whatever, or the chimney pot had fallen off. My neighbours have absolutely helped me out through thick and thin. They've adopted me and in a way brought up my daughter, and as a consequence probably brought me up too. And I've written a book called Life on a Basque Mountain, which is to pay homage to them and a tribute to their generosity and selflessness of embracing me in the community. And this now hopefully will have other dimensions. It's just been given a traditional publishing contract with Brat, which is a travel publisher in the UK. And so hopefully in the new year, the book Life on a Basque Mountain will come out both in the UK and in America, where we can continue to promote and teach about the wonderful ethos and nobility of the Basque community that has embraced us.